the air adventures of Biggles.
After rescuing Donald from Coleman, Biggles and Algy hurry back with the old biologist to their own planes. Coleman and his men follow and open fire on them from an elevated position. But Ginge and Bertie, who've been scouting in another direction, see the shooting and join in. They give Biggles and his party the opportunity to escape, and before long Coleman gives up the useless battle. It is quite late when Bertie and Ginger set off to rejoin their friends. In the growing darkness, the island seems more weird and frightening than ever. As they start down a valley which seems to lead to another world, the light dies and shadows surround them. Ginge is tense and nervy, so that there's a touch of hysteria in his voice as he shouts,
Bertie! Bertie, look out! That thing on the rock! Look out! Sizzling sausages! Get away from it! Run, Bertie! We must get away!
It's all right, old sausage. It can't hurt us from back here.
You don't know that. If it leaps out at us...
Oh, it won't leap out. I was in a rather awkward belly spot when you called out, but your burble came just in time. I jumped before it could close on me. For which many thanks, old trout.
I still don't want to stay here. How can we tell it won't move after us?
Because oysters don't waddle about like that.
Oysters? But... well, that thing's as big as a drum. It's a couple of feet across. It had its jaws wide open when I first saw it. And as you moved close, they started to shut.
Yes, probably thought the lissy arm would have made a good supper. I say, if it had swallowed my arm, I might have become a belly pearl.
Yeah, but... oh, I don't know how you can joke about it, Bertie. I'm still shivering.
Yeah, the trembles, Elbean. Dear old Aunt Matilda used to get them when she read the Sunday comics.
Eels 40 feet long. Oysters 2 feet across. What sort of a place is this?
Yeah, dash peculiar belly joint, if you ask me. Donald was right when he called it an enchanted island.
A bewitched island, if you ask me. For Pete's sake, let's get back to the kite.
Frankly, Elbean, nothing would suit us Lucy's better. Come on.
Not along this valley.
Oh, sizzling sausages, old child. Don't start that business again. You do want to reach the kite sometime tonight, don't you?
My word, I do.
Then this is the shortest way. It cuts along exactly in the direction we want to go. If we trundle back, we'll have to climb over ridges of rock and goodness knows what nonsense.
But the oysters...
If any of them snap at me, I'll snap right back at them. Probably very tasty, too. Now, look, old sausages. Oysters clamp onto rocks like valley oysters. If we keep away from the sides of the valley, they won't be able to hurt us.
I suppose not.
No, of course they won't. You trust your Uncle Bertie. Now, let's trundle onwards and ignore the fact that the place looks a bit spooky. Sooner or later, we'll make the kite.
We're back just in time. It's almost pitch dark now.
It's a bit too dark. I hope Bertie and Ginge will find their way back all right.
Well, they can't go far wrong, Biggles. The island isn't as big as all that.
Oh, that's true. I'll hop into the kite, Algy, and turn on some lights. Donald, the doctor, will send himself sprawling if he goes aboard in the dark.
Roger. It won't take a moment.
Inspector, there's something puzzling me.
Oh?
I've noticed that you and your friends frequently call me Donald. Well, you know that isn't correct. My name is Augustus Duck.
I'm very sorry, Doctor. I can't think what gave us the other idea.
No, neither can I. And you know, it worries me because the name Donald Duck is extremely familiar to me. I can't for the life of me remember why.
I've heard it somewhere before,
Have
too.
you really? Yes. Of course, perhaps I have a relative of that name, and you've heard of him.
Biggles! Biggles, come here, will you?
What's the matter, Algy?
The kite. It's half full of water.
What?
It's still coming in. The darn thing's sinking.
Move aside and let me see.
Holy mackerel.
I don't know what caused it, but the level of the water is definitely creeping up.
Must have been a bullet from Coleman's kite during the scrap this afternoon.
But I checked the fuselage. Every hole in it was repaired.
You must have missed a low one, below the water level, apparently. This is a mess.
If we were anywhere else, I'd say run the kite ashore, bail it out, and then find the hole. But here...
Here, there's no way of doing that. We're confined to the water.
Is the matter very serious, gentlemen?
Very. There's a hole in the body of the plane, somewhere below water level. The water's seeping in, and if we don't stop it, the aircraft will sink.
Oh, good gracious. Well, then I suggest you stop the hole immediately.
We can't. The hole's underwater. we've no means of getting to it, nor of moving the machine out of the water.
If we were anywhere near a beach, we could run it ashore, but on this confounded island, there aren't any beaches.
How do you mean you could run it ashore? Isn't this a flying boat?
It's an amphibian. It can run on either land or water.
You see, if there were a beach or a shelving that gradually dropped into the water, we could run onto it, drop our wheels, and move up out of the water. In that case, it would be easy enough to bail out the water and repair the hull.
It's wishful thinking, Algy. I examined the shoreline of the island very closely before we landed. All of it juts out of the water by at least a foot. I'm certainly not going to run the kite against a foot of rock.
You're sure of that, Inspector?
I tell you, I checked before putting down. I thought we might be able to park the kite ashore anyway. But there are no beaches and no gradual shelving.
Oh, dear me, that's a pity, a great pity. Still, it's all extremely interesting.
Any point in taking the kite up, Biggles?
Couldn't lift her off the drink with a belly full of water.
If we don't do something, she'll slowly sink.
I'm well aware of that. I can see her sinking now. I'm darned if I know what we can do.
You're right. It's a mess. I know.
What's this bright idea?
I'll swim under the hull and try to find the hole.
That would be almost impossible, Algy. Under the water, it would be so black you couldn't see anything.
What about the water inside the kite? The lights would show through that.
Too murky. No, I'm afraid none of these schemes will do.
What's the alternative? Let the bus sink and then ask Coleman for a lift home?
Sink myself before I do that. Hey, where's Donald?
Well, he was standing beside you a moment ago.
He isn't now. Oh, don't tell me the old idiot's wandered off again. We've enough troubles. Donald, I'm... Dr. Duck, where are you?
I'm over here, along the shore to the south of the plain.
Come back at once. You'll be lost if you wander off alone at night.
No, I won't. You come here.
Doctor, please. Our plane's sinking. We're trying to find a way to fix it.
Yes, I may have found it for you. Come quickly and bring a torch with you.
Is he cuckoo?
Sometimes I wonder. However, we can't leave him there alone. There's a torch in the locker just inside the hatch. Grab it and we'll see what the old boy wants. Well, what is it, Doctor?
You say it's a gentle shelving you need,
Well, something like that. But there isn't one on the island.
Oh, I don't think that's correct, Inspector. Flash the torch over here, over here to the edge of the water.
By jingo, there's no ledge there. The rock slopes gradually into the water.
And it's reasonably flat above the water's edge. Flash the torch further along, Algy. See how wide the strip is.
Quite wide enough for the kite. But it'd be tricky bringing it in the dark.
It's possible, though, Algy. Listen, find the center of this strip and stand there with the torch. I'll bring the kite round and you use the light to guide me in.
Roger.
Is this portion of the shoreline satisfactory for your purpose?
It's not ideal, but it'll do.
Oh, I'm so glad. You see, while we were talking, I remembered noticing this place earlier in the day, and, well, when you were so definite that such a place didn't exist, I came along to check.
I'm sure it didn't exist when we first flew over the island. I don't understand it at all.
It exists now, that's all that matters. Hop back and bring the kite round, Biggles. Otherwise, the shelf might vanish again.
We'll have to go back, Bertie.
Do you really want to, Elbean?
No, but this confounded valley doesn't seem to be leading us anywhere. We must have been following it for hours.
Well, I should say it'll lead somewhere else, Sausage, but it's taking a long belly time to get there.
We'll be thoroughly lost if we keep going. It must be winding about. Otherwise, we'd have reached the coast ages ago.
If we go back, I think we'll be more lost than ever. And frankly, Elbean, we Ulysses don't feel like trudging about the island all night. The old hoofs are already beginning to beat somewhat slower than is their wont.
I want a rest, too. That's why I'm keen to make the kite as quickly as possible.
What I'm trying to suggest, gently but firmly, is that we should give up attempting to reach the kite tonight.
Eh?
There'll be plenty of time to find our way in daylight. In the meantime, I suggest we should curl up the old bods and relax.
Here? In this horrible valley?
Well, not precisely in the valley, but just off it. Remember that cave we noticed a short way back?
Oh, no caves. Not on this island.
My dear old Sausage, there's no reason why a cave should be any more dangerous than the open. It certainly won't be as cold as it's growing out here.
Yes, it is a bit chilly, but...
Therefore, we should take cover. Don't want to pick up a set of the snuffles, you know.
But a cave on this weird place.
Probably very cosy. Now, come on and stop worrying your noddle about spooks and monsters.
Oh, it's very dark in here.
Yes, it's dark everywhere, old bean. It's night.
Bertie, Bertie, it's got me! Help me, Bertie! It's round my head! It's strangling me! Bertie!
Wildly, Ginger struggles with the unseen creature that has attacked him. What is it? Will more dangers threaten the airman in this uncanny place? Listen for the excitement of the next chapter in The Air Adventures of Biggles.